Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart, and welcome to my farm! In January, I took the entire month off, and during that time, I discovered the joys of Stardew Valley. I thought, hey, this will be a fun and easy game to take my mind off things and relax. And it suddenly became my new obsession, and I honestly have no clue what happened to my month, and before I realized it, it was suddenly February. So in order to feel like I didn't waste a whole month of work, I decided to make two videos, one taking a look at the alignment of all the bachelors and one taking a look at the bachelorettes. As a quick disclaimer, I am playing with a few mods, nothing insane. Most of the core gameplay is still intact. These are mostly quality of life improvements such as UI info suite, tractor mod, and instant grow trees because for some fucking reason my orchard just stopped growing in the middle of the first. And just to capture this footage, I'll be playing with the item spawner and the cheats menu, because if I start a new game from scratch and played through this clean, you wouldn't hear from me for the next 3 months. And I got a business to run and a family to feed. Also, because I'm a filthy weeb and I like looking at pretty people, I will be playing with the anime portrait mod because it just makes everyone look so pretty. Like, if you want, here's what the bachelors normally look like, and here's what the mods make them look like. I mean, arguably, Abby and Elliot look worse, but look at friggin' Harvey. I mean, I'm completely straight, and this is making me question things a bit. God damn, Harvey, calm down with that smolder. Also, I know I'm not giving the usual primer here where I talk about the game, but does anyone watching this really not know or understand what Stardew Valley is? Stardew Valley is a game that is considered the true successor to Harvest Moon, where you inherit your dead granddad's farm, and then you build it up from a failing homestead to a glorious money-making empire. Along the way, you'll encounter villagers, join festivals, and become a member of the community. As you become more ingrained, you'll learn about the deep, intricate lives of your neighbors of Pelican Town. Well, maybe not deep, but at least waist-high? Stardew Valley is an inclusive game where every bachelor and bachelorette is a marriage candidate no matter what your gender is. And this video will be going over all the bachelor candidates. In order to do that though, I will need to make a new character. Okay, so last time I played Stuart, this character will be hornier Stuart. This is me. This is the me she tells you not to worry about. With Hornier Stuart made, we will be seducing and then marrying every available bachelor in Stardew Valley and examining what alignment they are. Most of the character development through all of the characters in Stardew Valley are experienced through the relationship system. As you become closer with the members of the town, you will experience character flags called heart events, and we will see these heart events to determine their character development. There are 6 eligible bachelors, each of them having about 6 to 8 events, which means there will be a lot to look at, so let's not waste any time. As a side note, we will not be looking at any universal things like festival rejections or marriage jealousy, mostly because most of these things were created for gameplay mechanics and balancing reasons, and those actions are not exactly character driven, with one exception, one bachelorette in the next video. Also, just to extend the watch time of this video a little bit more, if you stick by all the way to the end, I will show off my farm. However, before we look at these hunky bachelors, be sure to plant that subscribe button and ring that bell so I can give you the mermaid pendant and continue to deliver iridium quality content straight to you every week. And with all of that out of the way, let's go. Hey folks, before we begin the ding-dings, I know I made that February joke earlier, but for whatever reason, this video was hell to make. I have no idea what happened, but half the audio during rendering got mixed in with some gameplay audio, and it's really frustrating, and editing this video together felt itchy, like it was full of bugs and ants that kept cropping up, and I swear, you know, I squished that ant earlier, but it came up again. I practically had to redo this video a few times, and even some of the 10+ hours of game footage I captured got corrupted, and if this video ever hits YouTube, it will be a small miracle. I don't say this sincerely that often, but be kind in the comments section, at least for this part of the video, and hit like and subscribe. The Bachelorette video hopefully won't be this stressful, but if it is, I don't know if I'm ever going to work with game footage again. This was a small nightmare, but anyway, sorry for just complaining, but thank you for letting me have this small tangent. We begin our play by picking through our eligible bachelors, and while I couldn't quite make a decision, we're going to go ahead and start with everyone's favorite drunk uncle, Shane, which, in terms of video pacing, is actually not very wise, because we're going to look at the hardest and most depressing character first. Shane is a burnout living at his Aunt Marnie's ranch. As one of the oldest bachelors, according to one of the secret notes, Shane considers himself a failure in life and is currently working at Jojo Mart stocking shelves. He is rude, grumpy, and addicted to alcohol. His daily schedule is pretty much heading to work, then heading to the saloon and drinking his troubles away. On weekends when it's not raining, he can be seen hanging around aimlessly around Marnie's kitchen. As far as his backstory goes, it honestly is really unclear what led him to the situation. He is apparently Jazz's godfather, which could honestly mean anything at this point. It is apparent at some point he did have dreams and prospects, because in his cutscenes he mentions this a few times, and is very much aware that he is headed on a self-destructive path. At the beginning of the game, we will start Shane at chaotic neutral. During Shane's two-heart event, we meet him at Cindercat Forest in between 8 p.m. and midnight. He offers the player a beer and warns about becoming addicted like he has. Let's give this a neutral good, I think. Also, we'll give him another ding for sending you a recipe at 3 hearts. At 4 hearts, Shane starts becoming more friendly in his regular dialogue, and if you enter Marnie's house, he is seen passed out on the floor and completely sloshed. Hornier Stuart dumps some water on him, and he's told by his aunt that he needs to start planning for the future, and Shane says that he hopes he won't be around long enough to need one, causing Jazz to run out of the room crying. He collapses on the ground and cries, apologizing. Chaotic neutral? Just oof. At his 6-heart event, we find Shane at his lowest point, nearly passed out next to a cliff and drunk out of his mind, and basically asking for permission to roll off and die. Did I mention we started off with the most depressing character? No matter what answer you give, he asks you to take him to the hospital, which you do. Harvey is there and pumps out his stomach and suggests that Shane find a therapist in Zuzu City. Oh, remind me to give Harvey a lawful good for that follow-up. That's a good point. Shane then comes over the next day and apologizes for the state you found him in. Chaotic neutral for the bender, but I'll actually give him a lawful good for recognizing his poor behavior and following up on it, realizing it's affecting those around him negatively. At 6 hearts, Shane decides to turn his life around by going sober. With the money he saves by not drinking as much beer, he gives Jazz a pair of expensive shoes. Lawful for taking the initiative and attempting to discipline himself, and good for giving Jazz shoes. At 7 hearts, Shane starts filming a commercial for Joja-Cola. He asks Emily and Clint to help and eventually recruits you by saying the winner of the commercial gets 10,000 bucks. Not bad. I'm choosing to assume this is Shane attempting to either find a new hobby or reignite his old passions. Let's go with lawful neutral. Also at 7 hearts, he sends you a recipe for a strange bun. This would be neutral good, but you have no idea how bizarre this item is. Strange bun is a really weird food item made from wheat flour, a periwinkle fish, and void mayonnaise. Void mayonnaise is bizarre. It is made from void eggs, which come from void chickens, which hatch from void eggs, that are created by void chickens, which come from void eggs. The actual lore about void stuff is weird, but it's implied that void chickens are cursed by either evil or ancient magic of some kind, since in order to even get a void chicken, a random event needs to occur in which a witch appears over your coop and creates an egg. Also, literally everyone hates this gift, including Shane, and the literal shadow person who eats void foods. Did he send this to you as a prank? What is this lore? Neutral good? Later, Shane shows you a secret project he's been working on, a special breed of blue chickens that he's developed called silky chickens. Anyway, for showing you how to get these cool chickies in your house, for passing on the secrets of making these chickens to his goddaughter, and for giving me a perfect opportunity to shill our Shane docu over on LoadingCrewCrafts.com with the coupon code SOOKIE to get a free Shane mini docu. He gets a neutral good for this. Oh, this is a universal thing with all Bachelor and Bachelorettes, but unlike the other villagers, you can't get to 10 hearts unless you give them a bouquet of flowers. Once you do, they become your boyfriend or girlfriend. Once you reach 10 hearts, each person will get a unique date event. For Shane, he invites you to a grid ball game in order to check out the Zuzu City tunnelers. If you pay attention to Shane's artwork, you can actually see his high school jersey under his coat. At the game, he is attentive and thoughtful. If you say you like the city better, he is actually surprised by this because he knows that you've moved to Stardew Valley because you wanted to escape the bustle of city life, which implies he's been a very good listener. During a moment of excitement when a shooting guard got a tee off into the outfield for a ring out, Shane gets caught up in the moment and gives you a victory kiss. He immediately apologizes for getting carried away. Hornier Stuart then makes out with him as they end the evening with a very sweet chaotic good. In order to get any more heart events, you need to marry Shane. So you grab a blue feather, a mermaid pendant, from a mysterious stranger and propose. After a brief wedding ceremony, Shane moves in, bringing his game console, a TV, some weights, a mini fridge, and his beer. Lots and lots of beer. Bro, we talked about this. If you continue to date your newfound husband, you can get a 14 heart event. One day you learn that Shane has been sneaking off to the saloon, and neither you or Marnie knew about it, which, I can see him right here, but whatever. Apparently he has been heading off to the saloon, and on the second day you spot him doing this, you confront him. He apparently just gets offended and wanders off, refusing to talk to you. On the third day, you see him in the saloon, and he is playing Junimo Kart and drinking tons of Joja Cola, saying that both the soda and the game have been helping him with his drinking urges. Which, sure, okay, buddy. I have problems with this scene a bit because this is a very easily avoidable situation by going, yo, I was just playing video at the arcade, ask Gus, but instead your husband refuses to talk to you about it. But I guess I can see why this happens, plus it's not like he's spending hundreds of gold at the arcade. The game is free to play. And honestly, good guy Gus for setting a game that should cost money as a free setup for his patrons, but I'm going to be giving Shane a chaotic neutral for not talking to his very worried husband, hornier Stuart. He was very upset by this. Next, we move on to Sam, and you might be asking, wait, are you going to divorce Shane? First of all, how could you? This man is a recovering alcoholic. A divorce is the last thing he needs right now. Fortunately for us, I neglected to mention that I already had a polygamy mod installed before starting this video, for, reasons.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Sam is definitely one of the youngest marriage candidates. He still has a dream of becoming a rock star or a musician, and he frequently can be seen skateboarding around town or playing video games. He also works part-time at Joja Mart, but mostly sticks to a small clique of friends. I think we'll start Sam off at true neutral, and that doesn't really change too much. At his 2-heart event, you see him and Sebastian practicing in his room, and he'll ask you about your favorite type of music, and coincidentally, that is the type of music he will play. That's neutral as well. We do begin seeing some complexities into the character because if you head to the beach on a sunny day, in year 1, we will see him with his brother. Vincent will ask if their father is coming home. You learn that their father is a soldier in a war against the Gatoro Empire, and they are being mowed down by the thousands. Sweet Yoba man, that is dark. Even though Sam has no proof, he tells Vincent that their dad will be home soon to give him hope. Chaotic good. Honestly, the rest of the heart events aren't much better, and there aren't any unique interactions I can think of. At one point, Sam drops an egg into the kitchen and reacts based on how you say, which is neutral, and there's also a point where he gets in trouble skateboarding in town and grinding on a place that wasn't his property. Chaotic neutral. He does invite the whole town to a Zuzu concert, which is nice, I suppose, and awkward. Oh, I forgot I turned off the music thinking that I would add it in post. Listen, it's just funnier this way. Also, inviting your friends and family to your first concert, I wouldn't argue is any sort of good. It's just kind of neutral since there isn't much of a crowd outside of this. This is just blatantly filling seats. Once Sam becomes your boyfriend and you get to 10 hearts, you get arguably one of the spiciest scenes in the game where Sam tries to confess to you and pulls you into his room. His mom almost catches him and you end up making out with him all night in his bed. And if you want to experience Sam snuggling firsthand, you can do that for yourself by buying our Sam DAKIMAKURA at LoadingCrewCrafts.com. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know we had this thing until late into the writing process. So, yep, there he is. Use the coupon code SILKY and we'll give you $1 off and a mini of this as well. Obviously, we marry him, and apparently, as a husband, he just focuses on his music and doesn't really help out around the house. I'd say that's chaotic neutral since he really isn't pulling in a ton of money, and if you've seen my YouTube numbers, you can also understand how I'd relate to that. Please subscribe. Chaotic neutral. However, at his 14-heart event, he does get invited to create children's programming for Zuzu City. He is understandably disappointed by this since he wanted to create his own special art, but does throw his all into his work and recruits Jazz and his little brother to help demo the song he creates. Since he's actively working for the family, I'd say this is lawful good. Alex is also another surprisingly sad case. He is a young man living with his grandparents and is a former star player for his high school gridball team. He really doesn't do much outside of work out, hang out, and sell ice cream in summer. His goal is to turn pro and join the Zuzu City Tunnelers. Unfortunately, he is trapped in Pelican Town in Stardew Valley. Regardless, he trains every day, hoping that one day this will take him to the top. Since he follows a strict training regimen and is actively working towards a goal, let's go with lawful neutral to start. On his 2-heart event, you go to the beach and he'll invite you to hang out and toss the grid ball with him. He'll tell you his dream of becoming a pro and reacts poorly if you're rude to him like hornier Stuart was, who, at this point, is just collecting husbands like trading cards. I will say him being a bro is neutral good. One day through town, once you reach his 4-heart event, he'll confess that his dad was an alcoholic, calling him worthless, then left the family. Shortly after that, his mother got sick and passed away. He then realizes that he got too real with his emotions and shows you what the town dog Dusty will do for a steak. Lawful good boy, yes he is. What I do like about Alex is that he does start to realize that he isn't actually the hot shit that he thought he was, though. Once you reach 5 hearts with him and enter his home, he realizes that he needs to study more. If you respond with, "We all have our strength," he realizes that he has a lot of hard work ahead of him and that he wants to discuss philosophy with you someday. Let's go with lawful neutral. At 6 hearts, Alex finally pulls his head out of his ass and apologizes for being arrogant or rude earlier. That is some lawful good energy. However, this is Stardew Valley, and we can't have that much happiness without some dark reminders. At 8 hearts, you can head to the beach on a sunny day, and Alex will be at the beach crying. Apparently, it's the 12-year anniversary of his mother's death. He regrets not being able to thank her for taking care of him as a kid. He only has his mother's music box as a keepsake, and he plays it for you, which I regrettably also forgot to turn the volume up for. Sorry. After your response, he says that you two should head back to town, and he nervously asks you not to tell anyone that he was crying. Neutral. If you choose to make him your boyfriend, and of course Hornio Stuart will do that, he invites you to the saloon after dark and treats you to a fancy dinner date where he formally confesses to you. This is how men should treat a lady. Or their lovers, I suppose. A nice quiet evening where you're open and honest about your feelings and there's no pressure for your date to reciprocate those feelings. And, you know what? Lawful good. Obviously, once this happens, husband is acquired, and once you get to 14 hearts, he asks you politely one day if he can have 5,000 gold for a little project he's working on. If you give it to him, on Sunday, if you head to the saloon, he shows you that he turned a small corner of the saloon into a grid ball watching haven. He thanks you and explains that even though he'll probably never go pro, he now has a place where the guys can hang out on Sunday. The dude asked politely for a reasonable amount of cash and uses it for himself, Shane, Kent, Gus, and George. The guys in town who arguably need it the most. Lawful good on Alex. Arguably a nat 20 scene too. I always like it when the game gives me this opportunity to improve the community as a whole. I'm going to be honest with you guys. There isn't much to Sebastian. He's kind of dull and boring. I know there's some Sebastian stans out there. Sebastian is a computer programmer and a loner who hangs out in his room pretty much all day. He does freelance programming for some various companies and his family doesn't really get him, especially his stepdad Demetrius. Sebastian is definitely an introvert and it shows in all of his heart events. At 2 hearts, he eventually explains that his goal is to move to the city and become a full-time freelancer. Although admittedly, that doesn't make sense since he said that he prefers working through a computer than face-to-face, and if he's going to freelance, he could arguably live somewhere cheap like Pelican Town, especially if he doesn't like people. You know what? Chaotic neutral. This kid has not thought this through. Also, really sorry, but my OBS screwed up and I couldn't record this part. Thank you to this channel for having Sebastian's heart events. At 4 hearts, he is working on his motorcycle, explaining how he likes to be alone, but offers you a ride someday. I'm sure Hornier Stuart will take him up on that, and neutral good for sure. At 6 hearts, he invites you to play D&D, and it's a cute little minigame. He will let you pick whatever character you want, too. Technically lawful good, I suppose, since you kind of just appear in his room without so much of a formal invite. At 8 hearts, if you head to the beach while it rains, he offers you an umbrella. I suppose neutral good as well, and at 10 hearts, he finally takes you on that motorcycle ride and confesses to you under a moonlight, and we turn his relationship status from MGTOW to it's complicated. Also neutral good. At 14 hearts, he finds an injured frog and adopts it. No matter what you tell him, he will then add a frog sanctuary to his hubby corner. Let's go with chaotic good. Elliot is an aspiring writer that rarely interacts with the folks of the town outside of Willie and Leah, who he probably shares some camaraderie with since they're both starving artists. He plays piano and wants to write the next great Ferngullian novel. Elliot also loves the sea and all of its offerings, and he keeps to himself, and you know, I kind of respect that. True neutral to start, but that does change a little bit as he becomes closer to you. In his first heart event, he will ask you what your favorite book genre is, and then will stake his whole career on that suggestion. Neutral? Lawful neutral? At 4 hearts, he buys you a drink at the saloon and tries to get close to you. Neutral good. Next time you guys get together, he is playing piano in his shack, and he's lamenting about how hard it is to be a writer. Also, there's a cute little Easter egg that if you play a certain song on his piano, he likes it. Nice, neutral. After reaching 8 hearts and speedrunning through his writer's block, he invites you to a reading at the library of his new book. He apparently chose to write a book based on your favorite genre. Neutral. If you boyfriend him up at 10 hearts, he fixes up the boat at the beach and invites you on its maiden voyage. Instead of confessing his love to you, he immediately pounces and kisses you without warning or permission. You know, I don't go yikes that often, but like, yeah, dude, that is a lot of red flags. I'm sure he probably thought it was romantic and you technically are dating, but like, that's some yikes. He's got you alone in the ocean in a boat and you really can't say no to this. You know, because of the implication. I'm just gonna go with chaotic neutral. Anyway, 1 marriage and 4 hearts later, Elliot gets invited to the city on a book tour. If he goes, he does write you every day and even leaves food for you in the fridge. Good food, too. Crab cakes offer a great buff that lasts pretty much all day. Once he returns, he becomes full-time husband number 5, lawful good. You know, he may have made some mistakes along the way, and he may have been a bit of a self-absorbed boyfriend, but you know, Elliot does make a very good DAKIMAKURA, also available at LoadingCrewCrafts.com. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. Most of these were commissioned years ago, and I legit forgot we even had them. Harvey, the man I kind of wish I didn't save for last. This is unfortunately not a great ending character. Harvey is implied to be the oldest bachelor in town. He is the town doctor who is officially licensed through the Ferngale Republic Health Authority. Because of the low population of Pelican Town, he does not have a lot of customers or patients. Although he is passionate about physical health of the town, there isn't much he can do for them outside of their yearly checkups. Other than that, he doesn't do much except visit the saloon on occasions. He does work with Maru and is very nice with her, but takes no initiative to deepen their relationships outside of work. He starts at lawful neutral. During his 2-heart event, you walk in on him giving George a checkup. He does attempt to shoo you away while telling George he needs to take better care of himself. If you agree with Harvey and say George needs to listen to his doctor, he thanks you, and if you agree with George, Harvey says he will tell George's wife. Admittedly, Harvey is put in a tough situation here, since a literal stranger walked in on a medical exam, but I think this is chaotic good, since it's overall an awkward situation where Harvey is trying to get through to stubborn George, and he needs to do some roundabout methods to make that happen. At 4 hearts, Harvey makes you attend a checkup at the clinic. He tells you that your pulse is high, and no matter what you say to him, Harvey gives a very professional answer, lawful neutral. At 6 hearts, you learn that he does dance aerobics with the town ladies, and he's apparently really embarrassed by this. He asks you not to tell anyone how out of shape he is. My guy. Bro. Any step towards a better health is a good step. But I guess since it's to save his pride because he's working out with girls? At 8 hearts, you find him in his room listening for airplanes on his radio. He makes contact, gets excited, and then loses spaghetti on the floor as he tells you about how he wanted to be a pilot. But due to his bad eyesight and crippling fear of heights, this wasn't possible. Honestly, lawful good for opening up about it. Anyway, hornier Stuart does what he does and boyfriends Harvey, who invites him on a hot air balloon date. I'm not going to pretend I know how this works, but I'm 95% certain that the hot air balloon pilot doesn't leave the craft to 2 completely inexperienced newbies and let them fly on their own. Harvey and hornier Stuart take off despite all of these red flags, and despite Harvey's fear, he confesses and the two share a deep, passionate mustache ride. Sorry. A kiss. Chaotic good. We make the doctor take our own Hippocratic oath, and he joins the harem. As a husband, he offers you a complete breakfast on certain mornings and high-protein dinners. For his 14-heart event, he cooks a very romantic dinner and handles all the cleanup. Sometimes that's all you need. Neutral good. I think after all these years, I finally do understand the obsession with Stardew and even a lot of the characters. Shane especially, I'm sure, triggers a lot of the I can fix him instinct that a lot of people have, especially girls. We mostly sell Shane to girls. Actually, come to think of it, it's mostly girls that buy our Dokis too. Dokis that are now available at LoadingCrew Craft! Shane was a very, very real slice of life in this video. Depression, alcoholism, and failed dreams are a match made in, well, not heaven, but they do go hand in hand, and it often takes an outside influence like a healthy relationship to pull you out of it. Can relate. As you date him, Shane becomes a very good friend, then boyfriend, then arguably, as he starts to get comfortable, a so-so husband. But as a depressed, recovering alcoholic, this is just going to be a lifelong battle for him. Hell, Pam had to find religion in order to combat her addiction. Great job to this game overall for portraying this with all the seriousness it deserves. I'm just going to give it another nat 20 just for these two characters, really. Sam is young and has all the aimless dreams that young people tend to have. He has big ambitions to be a rock star, and he does make strides towards that, but eventually learns that he has to compromise in order to make his dreams happen. Hell, I'd much rather be a streamer, but due to convention schedules and my own living situation, I instead have to make video essays on YouTube. Please subscribe. I do find it a bit of a missed opportunity that his parents don't really have any say in the matter. Like, his mother is canonically depressed that she got married at such a young age, and Kent is PTSD, the character, so, like, it would have been nice to get them involved in his story arc, but this game is already so massive, that's a lot to ask one developer. Are there any mods that can help make Sam more interesting, actually? I mean, get you a man that could do both, I guess. Alex was the surprise hit for me out of all the husbands. I kind of like how he was this almost arrogant and brash kid who slowly gets a reality check as the months go by. The fact that he has this charming small-town quarterback himbo energy really helps his case. He meant well, and he eventually learns that he needs to settle, and he makes his mark on his community. So, honestly, yeah, Alex is just a good character. I changed my mind a little bit about Sebastian. I kind of understand him now. I too am kind of shy and introverted, and I explained this a bit in my Jinx video, and I like my alone time with my significant other. Making friends is difficult and sometimes quite exhausting, but that doesn't mean he doesn't want to get close to people. It's just hard for him to do so. So yeah, Sebastian's actually fine, but he still has committed the crime of being more handsome than me, and some crimes can never be forgiven. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with Elliot other than he's kind of boring. He's a writer who keeps to himself and doesn't bother anyone. He doesn't really have any major flaws or problems, and I'm pretty sure he gets past his writer's block pretty much on his own. His big appeal is his very attractive design and that he's fairly unproblematic, this scene aside. He's actually a very safe character, despite the fact that he looks like someone who would try to sleep with half the town. Granted, since hornier Stuart entered his life, that's ending up happening anyway. Harvey is even more safe, although arguably that's his charm. Harvey has got massive dad energy. Not daddy energy like Elliot, like Harvey is the type of guy who will get a jean jacket and buy an aviator helmet and then never so much as touch a car engine for his midlife crisis. His whole personality is in his mustache. I guarantee that if he marries a woman, she will know that she's pregnant simply because he will make a cringy pun without realizing it. Harvey's just a stand-up guy, and games like Stardew Valley need guys like him to round out the cast. I have personal headcanons for all of these characters, but for now, I think I've gone on long enough. And as promised, here is a tour of my Stardew Valley farm. And then here I got Alex here.
Hello.
And I'm going to show you guys my farm. Down here you can see I have a massive field of ancient fruits with our harvest sprites, our Junimos going at it, because I hate I hate harvesting my own stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and show around. So as you can see up here, Alex kind of knows my farm a little bit.
I'm not used to these big elaborate setups though.
Yeah, what are you in terms of playthrough? How far are you?
Me, the farthest I got was year 4, but I don't like min-max stuff like this. I'm just gonna play. Like I play Stardew Valley to go to the mines to chill my mind out from working too hard. So I don't really do this intensity. Yeah,
so since my YouTube channel can't be intense, I might as well make my farm that. So I got I got a barn full of jam here because I just got tired of using sheds. And then I still don't know what to do with this space right here. I was thinking about turning that into a shed, but I go up here to what I call the science building, where I made it look it looks very Breaking Bad to me, with all my diamonds up here, and then all my truffle oil. And I don't know why, that just is really funny to me. I got my horse. Get my horse summoning flute. I don't do anything to that cave. There's a point where it's just not necessary anymore. Got a whole bunch of wine in here. Starfruit, of course. Or not starfruit. Ancient fruit, that's the one. Up here, greenhouse. Now, originally I did have this filled with grass as well, but I realized I didn't like walking through grass in here. But I'm pretty happy with that. I got some kegs going with ancient fruit, of course. And then over here, now I don't like slime hutches. Alex told me.
I love slime hutches.
Alex is the one who basically told me to get a slime hutch, and so I kind of converted it into a workshop. And this is the only place where the slimes can spawn, because again, I was just kind of going for the aesthetic in
I
here.
think this is really cute, and I really like how you crowd it, and they're all trying to have like cute little slime babies in there.
Yeah, they be flocking. So yeah, I don't particularly care about the slimes. I just leave them be. I just turn this into a workshop shed.
It's the only thing that was intense that I wanted to try was slime breeding, like massive slime breeding.
Yeah. Let's see. We go down here. I'm really fond of my particular 2-field setup. I like having a lot of crops. And then, you circle around. Also up here, I've got some honey stored away with some flowers.
I like how the warp totems are just neat and organized.
Yeah, like this area up here, a lot of people can do some creative things. I like being a little bit more practical. So that's what I did. And then these are mahogany trees. I like the way mahogany trees look to segregate farm bits. I got some what are these?
Fish ponds.
I got spookfish. I got super cucumbers. I got blobfish, squid, midnight squid. I got sturgeon, of course lava eels, and then here are all my things down here. I got a little bench in case I want to relax.
Caviar.
And then I also have my fish ponds double as gates because I like being as practical as possible.
You picked up that bit from me. That's what I always did. Yeah, using my fish ponds.
Yeah, I stole that from you.
Yeah.
Up here is my chicken coop. Yeah, this is pretty neat and organized. There's nothing crazy about like here. Some people will just double down on their barns and use the empty space for other things, and I'm just like, there's no point. So I got a sheep barn, which is not full yet. I've got an ostrich incubator up there. Do not have an ostrich yet. Let's see. These are 2 pig barns, and pigs are just like objectively like the best like money-making animal. It's insane how much money they can make.
Mm-hmm.
This is my dinosaur barn. Got my dino mayo going, and then of course I got a bunny hutch because I love bunnies. I love bunnies so much. So plus, as far as the wool animal goes, they're kind of the best ones because they do give you rabbit's foot, and rabbit's feet are universally beloved gifts except for Penny. And then I got my orchard over here, which I've been told is very much overkill. This orchard was not needed, but I like it.
I mean, lots of pretty trees. We like lots of pretty trees in our yard.
I do. I love trees, especially in Stardew, and in real life. So got a little path going here. It's kind of doubled as like my little park. So yeah, that's just the farm. We can check out Ginger Island if you want, but I have not done much with Ginger Island because I am just not wild about that aesthetic. It is just not a fun aesthetic for me. Oh, it's raining. It's raining, of course. So let's see. What have I set? I'm trying to remember what I actually set up. Of course, ancient fruit. That's where I got all my ancient fruit seeds. I just turned this into a fucking ancient... Oh my god. The weeds have overrun my... my fucking walking...
You haven't been here in a little while, huh?
I have not, no. I got a mango tree just because of the kid. And then I got a cherry tree just because I think I had an extra sapling. And then, yeah, I built like a little porch here. But otherwise, I've not done much with the island because I just don't like it as much. Tell you what, if this video does well and if people are really interested, I think maybe we'll decorate it for a live stream. That could be fun.
Oh, it'd be fun. You haven't even done anything to the cottage yet.
Not at all. No, I'm not even certain I like touched it. Like, so yeah, that's what we got. All right. So if you like that, and if you want to see inside of our houses, because I've actually got 2 different houses. I've got a little cottage over here and my actual domesticated house. And if you like that, check out the Bachelorette video. See you soon.